taking lessons from the ball field to the workplace. It may sound like an unusual thing to do, but it's something that Dr. Howard C. Fero writes about in his new book, Lead Me Out to the Ball Game. Dr. Fero, who is the head of the leadership program at Alberto Magnus College, has written this book right here, Lead Me Out to the Ball Game. And I got to tell you, Dr. Fero, I'm excited about this interview because I don't think there are many situations in life where a good sports analogy isn't appropriate and doesn't make things clearer to people. Leadership is what you specialize in. What did you find about baseball and leadership?
Well, basically, Jim, you know, leadership, as you said, it's a great metaphor. Baseball is a great metaphor for leadership. We all take lessons from the managers we see out on the baseball field.
Yeah.
We take lessons from everyone that we see. So when we talk to the managers, we spoke to 17 Major League Baseball managers and over 100 Major League Baseball players.
And some of the really respected people, including John Madden of the Tampa Rays, who, as we were saying a moment ago, almost regardless of whatever his team's finish is, he's going to keep his job because everybody knows just how good he is. What did he have to say? What did people who do what he does have to say about leadership, baseball, and regular life?
Like you said, we spoke with Joe Madden of the Rays. We spoke with Bob Melvin of the Oakland A's. We spoke with Davey Johnson, who is just an iconic manager for many years with all the teams.
As Mets fans will well remember.
Absolutely. And what these managers all talked to us about was that they need to communicate with their players. They need to effectively communicate. They need to be able to set up a culture where everyone is winning and there's just a positive attitude. And they need to have fun within the clubhouse. Now, you can't take for granted what you're doing here, that you're playing something, you're playing a game, you're managing a game, you're working in a field that you love. And those are lessons we can take with us outside of baseball into our own industries. We have to find something we love to do, and we need to blow it away.
Yeah, if there's one key word that you use, it's passion.
Absolutely.
Why passion? Why is that the key?
Well, you know, we need to love what we do, as I said. But not only do we need to love what we do, we also need to be able to show that love to the people who are around us. You know, Ron Washington, for example, we spoke to him, the former manager of the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, he just left under strange circumstances.
Yeah, it was an interesting situation. But when he was manager there, when his team would do something good, he would be dancing up and down the dugout and just getting his players excited. Now, look, in business, we can't dance around our boardroom all the time, but we can show our people how to get excited. We can't show our people how important what they're doing is to us. And that's what gets people going.
One thing that impresses me about let's talk about this graphic since we have it up on the screen right now. What do we learn from this?
So, Jim, those are the 10 bases of Major League leadership that my co-author, Dr. Rebecca Herman, and I identified in our research. So we came up with these 10 bases based on all of our interviews. We need to develop passion and show our passion, as we were talking about. We need to earn respect. We need to lead by example. We need to cultivate relationships with our people, support our people, build a team, and also just create a winning culture. And that's really key. And how do we create that winning culture? By supporting our people.
Give me one example of how somebody you really respect, who you interviewed, took what they do in baseball and you can apply directly to leadership in another field.
Absolutely. And Bob Melvin, I mentioned before, he's talked to us a lot about communication. Now, Bob was a backup player when he was a player in the major leagues.
Well, sometimes it makes good managers because they get to watch so much.
Absolutely. He got to watch so much, and he understood what it's like to be kind of the guy on the side, not the star. So he talked to us about how important it is to communicate with all of his players so they all understand what their role is on the team. And that we take right into the business world. We take it right into our own personal lives. Everybody who we work with needs to understand why they're important to the strategic goal, strategic vision of the organization they're a part of.
One of the things that always catches my attention when I watch a baseball game is they've done studies on this, and in a baseball game there's something actually happening about 3% of the time. And yet the attention of the good players, the bench players who pay attention, and the managers are riveted on everything that's happening on the field. And that, I would think, is key to any business you're in. If you're plumbing or selling insurance, you got to get focused on what the techniques are and then what the art of the whole thing is and then put it all together.
Yeah, you need to know your game, and that's one of the bases of leadership we identified. You need to understand your industry and understand what it takes to be successful. Everyone has a different definition of winning. Once we understand what we consider winning, we can go out there and do it.
Once you have those techniques down and once your people underneath you know that you know what you're doing, then everything, it would seem by definition, would run better.
You would hope so. You would hope so.
Theoretically, anyway. So it was just kind of, you're a baseball fan, so it was cool to talk to these guys anyway.
This was great. As a baseball fan, this was an unbelievable experience. As a leadership guy, just learning from these guys, learning from Davey Johnson. Just one more quote. You know, Davey talked to us about respect. Davey Johnson's been successful for 40 years in the major leagues. But he said a quote to me. He said, "I don't care how long you've been in this game. I don't care how much success you've had in the game. Every day you have to go in there and earn their trust. Every day you have to earn their respect." That's Davey Johnson. Us who've been in our business maybe 10, 15, 20 years and take things for granted sometimes. We need to go out there and prove ourselves every day to the people that we work with.
I couldn't agree with you more. I love what you have to say, and you can find out yourself, everyone, in the book called Lead Me Out to the Ballgame, co-written by our guest here, Dr. Fero. We appreciate you coming by.
Thank you so much.